Squibb presents Academy Award. Tonight, Charles Coburn and Virginia Mayo in The Devil and Miss Jones. Every week, Squibb brings you Hollywood's finest. The great picture plays, the great actors and actresses, techniques and skills chosen from the honor roll of those who have won or been nominated for the famous Golden Oscar of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
You can call it a merry tale in which it is proved that
for you. Do I see the shoes I asked for, or don't I?
Oh, yes, of course, madam, of course. What kind of shoes do you wish? Button or strings?
Are you sure you won't have anything?
No, thank you very much. I never eat lunch.
It's nice.